Hello, this is Lisa Rusczyk
And Donna Murphy,
with the podcast We're
all
All
psychic.
with Carol
Carol Starr.
Starr. Carol Starr, I'm so excited that you're here, Carol Starr, with 2 R's. Carol, do you think we're all psychic still?
I do. I honestly do. I think we all, and the only ones who aren't are don't open up to it. If you open up to it and you're aware of yourself, but you have to have a certain awareness. And a lot of people don't have that awareness about people around them, feeling their vibes, and because that's all being psychic is feeling what is going on. It's
Exactly.
within, yeah.
It is. It's a
You know,
feeling.
people, if they say that you're psychic, it doesn't mean that you can go up to a stranger and tell them what's going to happen
Yes.
to them. People think if you
Yeah.
say you're psychic, people get scared.
Yeah.
They think, "Oh my God," but
They
it
don't
doesn't
get what
work
you're
like
talking
that.
about. Yeah, unless
Right.
they learn, like
So
on this
I do
podcast.
believe that. And sometimes we think we're psychic, and it's just worry and fret, and that we are creating ourselves too.
I get that.
Psychic.
I've done
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Oh, sure.
yeah. No,
I think
you
I think
can't
we all do.
worry.
Because we're human. I think we all do
We have
that.
no concrete answers. So we go
Yeah, there.
steady.
Yeah. Anyway, so everything okay with you guys?
Yes,
Oh yeah.
Carol, and listeners and watchers, I want you to know this is a video on Spotify and YouTube. And basically, Carol Starr has been on our podcast since 2021. She has been a guest, and Donna, both of you were some of my first guests on this podcast. So I really wanted to do this podcast for you, listeners and watchers, who weren't around in 2021. So you can get a whole picture of Miss Carol Starr's entire being and all the things she's capable of and has done. So, I mean, she's just one of the most amazing people I've ever met. And we usually do about Aquarius, usually, or about a Leo mostly, or something like that. But today we're doing about Carol Starr mostly.
Okay.
So, Carol, I'm going to interview like I'm going to interview you. We're going to interview you like we're journalists and we're picking your brain about the reality of Carol. How are you today?
I am. Well, I'm good till what happened with my cell phone. I'm
Tell
worried
listeners about that because that's very frustrating. Tell them about that.
Yes.
but I'll survive. You know what? I find that people that are happy are not happy because of what's going on in their lives. You have to
So
really,
true.
because every day there are issues. The car won't start. The cat runs out. You forgot to turn the stove off, or your washing machine isn't working. That's all part of life. And people think when all this happens, then they're not happy. They're not happy. And I get a lot every day. Please, my life is terrible. I won't get a break. This doesn't work. I don't believe that. I think we go through rough times where we feel that things aren't going well, and we have to ride through them. Okay, we just have to do it because it's going to happen.
You're riding through this one pretty well. Her phone just went poof today.
Yeah,
She works on her phone.
Yeah. I mean, talk about about a huge pain.
Yeah, well, it's just that I do videos, I promote videos for a company, for Starcrossed app.
Starcrossed, yes.
Yeah,
They showed me my soulmate on Starcrossed. I saw one of your ads and I decided to download it again because last time they wouldn't let me see my soulmate unless I paid. But this time they showed it for free. And it looks like my first husband with short hair. I'm not shitting you. You listeners and watchers, that's weird.
It was pretty
Like him with
remarkable.
short hair. And I don't think he's my soulmate, but I'm just like, wow, that's freaking weird because I didn't have a person who looks like that face. I took it to Donna. I showed it to Donna, Carol Starr, and I took it to my AI and I gave him the same hair and the color and the same clothes he wore, and it looks just like him.
How about that? Yeah. Well, they've changed their format a lot, and
yes, they have.
So they've added a lot of things. It's a really neat thing, and I'm happy to promote it. But if I don't have my cell phone, I'm not going to be able to promote it. So anyway, I'll work that out.
You can promote it here. You just did.
Yeah,
we just did pretty much.
Well, I'm looking at your apartment. It's all very colorful and looks like
I love my apartment. It's got like windows. I love the windows, Carol. It's so great. So I want to ask you, Carol, first of all, like I listened to our first podcast with our listeners and watchers this morning. And we had talked about all the things you've done. And one of the things that really stood out to me is that you have had probably about 500 businesses like me. And we talked about that extensively, how we've worked and done businesses. Most of them fail, right?
Yeah, I've had like 4 It's funny. I just dug out a picture from my wallet. I was showing to somebody. I was doing a gift basket for President Clinton. And I also did gift baskets for Bush and his,
The gift basket book. She was really famous for that.
Yeah. Well, the gift basket business was, I hope she's okay. She's the gal's, my cleaning gal's leaving, and it's the car that we gave her, and it's not moving. Oh, God.
Do you need to pause it?
Mercury's retrograde. Yeah, move.
We had an interruption.
So what? Yeah,
just a hiccup.
Just a hiccup. We have a lot of hiccups.
I keep over there. Come on, just take off. Come on. There she goes.
She's worried that her house cleaner will not be able to start her car because of Mercury retrograde, but it happened.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Yeah, I have had a lot of businesses, and I've had a lot of failures. And the gift basket business was hot in the 90s, and the ship sailed. By 2000, the ship sailed. And I did everything. I wrote a book, a best-selling book. I gave seminars. I spoke all around the United States because people thought, what a cute little business you have. I said, you don't understand. It's intensive, with product and with labor. I have to buy the product, make the product, sell the product, deliver the product, and get paid for the product like you would for computer parts. And it's even tougher because I learned when I started the business, I had to get regular customers like car dealers, builders. And so otherwise I was not going to make a living at the business.
Right.
So I got myself like Lexus ordered, and I had property managers, I had realtors, I had any company that would order something on a regular basis.
Right. Because once a year for somebody's birthday isn't going to cut it.
It is not.
I mean, that's lovely and nice, but it's not going to cut it. Yeah.
What happened is everybody went into the business thinking that they were going to get rich, just like everyone's becoming an astrologer today. That's another.
Yeah.
So they would go in, and I can't tell you, I bought inventory from so many businesses because I said, you have to work at it. They had they bought the most gorgeous baskets and the best products. I said, you got to sell every minute. And I did a seminar for a gal. I said, you have to sell. She said, really? She thought that they were just going to call her and order baskets.
Beating down the door.
Yeah,
that'd be nice. Yeah.
And I'll tell you though, in astrology, when I started really online, which was about 22, right around there, I didn't have to do anything. I just got orders. I did.
You did. You went on to TikTok and you did great, Carol.
I know. I mean, now I do TikTok and I get or Instagram. I was getting in millions and 100,000s. But it's not like that for anybody anymore.
Right.
And so, beside all the free astrology stuff that you get for every facet you could imagine, there's also probably, I think AI told me there's like 80,000 new astrologers online. And they don't know what they're doing.
That's stunning. Yeah.
No, they either
astrology to me seems something you have to spend your lifetime pretty much really gathering all the info. Start young. Or really intensively study it.
Right. And I did for a lot of years. I've been doing it.
You still do. Yeah.
Yes. So I think that they feel. It looks like that. Astrologers make a lot of money per hour. When we work, we make a lot of money, but we go days without working.
Same with some readers.
Yeah,
right. Exactly.
So they tell people something really horrible, like the next 5 years are going to be horrible in your life, or they tell them that it's one thing telling people on a video that you're going to meet somebody, and another telling them when you're doing a reading for them. So they tell them they're going to meet somebody, they lie, and some of them. There's one gal, she gets $500 an hour. And there's a guy, I don't think he's doing it, $2,500 for a 2-hour seminar. I don't know about you, but I don't know what anybody could tell them that would be so different than what I would.
I don't think so either. I mean, I guess they just have the balls.
$500 is a lot of money.
That's a lot.
Yes, it is.
I would never ask that much for anything that was like. I do events in Nashville, and I ask $200 an hour at the most. I usually say $150 an hour with a tip jar or tip, Venmo and stuff, or $200 an hour. I would never take $500 for one reading. I would though. I mean, if you want to give it to me, I will take it. I'm not going to ask for it.
I was up to me getting quite a bit of money, and I had an hour one, and I sold like 1 week, 10 of them.
Yeah.
It's not like that anymore. And I'm just being really honest. the business is totally changed.
It
And
is changing.
people all, oh, I love you, Carol. I think you're wonderful and all that kind of stuff. But they're not spending money on readings. And I'm just being honest.
Yes.
They're going to, either they're going to other astrologers, but mostly I think they're taking advantage of the freebies. But here's the thing. I always say I read people more than I read your chart. I read you.
You do.
And also we find out what is going on in your life. What problems do you have? Not that the planets are, yeah, we have a lot of new transits up there, but they're not going to change your life or affect your life. You are the only person who
How
has
you
the
react
ability.
or how you accept that influence, if it's an influence, can show something about yourself if you want to look at it that
Oh,
way.
yeah. No, I think astrology is great. And, like we have
Self-exploration and
Uranus.
prediction.
Yeah, Uranus is now in Gemini. So
Yes.
Taurus people should get a break because I think that, Uranus can be a really.
My Venus is in
hard
Gemini.
planet. Yeah, so that's why you change a lot. You're always with a different man.
Not always. I was married twice for a long time, and they were not nice to me. Otherwise, I would have stayed. I really believe marriage is like a sacred thing to me. Like I didn't think of Jesus and God kind of sacred, but when I got married the first time, I was never going to get divorced. That was it. I did it. I done. And he divorced me. So, but I was ready.
But let me ask you something. Just
I didn't think about it.
Lisa, I think, okay, this is what I wanted to ask you. Did you, and be honest, there were some red flags before
Always.
you got married.
I'm a red flag myself, though, is what I feel like.
Yeah, but different.
Different.
I didn't
I have health issues. People have to take me on with my health issues. That's a big bag of stuff to take on. And so with him, well, with that particular husband, I got really sick after we got together and were engaged. So the worst of my mental health issues, which I think now were more spiritual attacks, lower entities attacking my energy field, stuff like that, in this period of time in Nashville for 4 days when I lived here in 2002, right around my 27th birthday. And, on his account, he didn't ask someone who was that sick to get engaged to him. And it is for better or worse in sickness and health, but he was 21 and I was 26 when we met. Yeah. And then at 27, I have this happen. And so he's like, he tried to help me. He really did help me a lot. But then by the end, he'd already been cheating on me and doing all kinds of crap that was just bad. But he divorced me.
But he was a kid.
He was a kid. Yeah. He was 27 when we got divorced, and I was 32, Yeah.
It's some reason that when it's opposite, the relationship works better.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking like the older man and the younger woman works better. Yeah.
And of course, who is it? 44 years. It was somebody who got one of the celebrities. 44-year difference. I thought it's like a grandparent almost. I think that's crazy. But anyway, I think that I've had two husbands. And I have one now, of course. I had one. He was not a terrible guy. He was not a bad guy, but he was my sweetheart in college. And I ran into him again and we got married. And I think I was caught up in the excitement of it. More, and also, I didn't want to be an old maid because at 22, you're an old maid at Ben.
How it feels.
Yeah.
It feels that way when you're in your 20s and everyone's getting married.
Like
I was married at 28. Yeah, I was like the last one of my friend group to get married.
Yeah. But I did not have red flags. And this husband I'm with now, there were no red flags. I mean, there's always, he had a good business and he was kind to me. He was good. And I couldn't, and he was in good health. And, so I thought, and we did, I mean, we've had our moments, but we still get along great. We do.
That's really cool.
Been a lot of years.
Yeah, I guess it takes some time. Yeah. So, I don't think I want to talk to either of my
I want to tell you about, this is the people I am reading right now. This is one story that's almost true of every woman that I've done a reading on.
Okay.
And this is happening a lot. And I feel, I'm not sure 100% the reason, but these women get into a relationship, they love them, they're going great, and the guy ghosts or disappears, he's gone.
Absolutely.
And abandoning, and I've never heard it this much.
All the time.
This is what I hear too. It's commitment. I think number one is, it's like, this isn't what I bargained for. I want to have a good time. I want to have fun. I don't want to commit.
Yeah.
But there's other reasons too. That's not the only, but that's the main reason. And these are intelligent women. I mean, they have big jobs and they finally meet somebody, and the guy promises that he wants to see them all the time. He wants to go on vacation with them. And then after a week, a month, or 6 months, they are gone.
And with no reason, with no excuse, no say goodbye.
There is no reason. They don't want to be. There's just an attitude today in relationships. Number one, women don't want to get married and have babies either. Not very many anymore. I never did. I have 3 granddaughters. 2 of them have serious boyfriends. They didn't want to live with them. They want to do what they want to do. Their work is important. I did not want to have kids, but I did not want to have them.
Yeah. So if they happened, it was okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And I waited, and I remember saying to my husband, I said, I guess we should start a family if we're going to. I was in my 20s, but narrowing down. And then I just wanted to have one, and I got pregnant unexpectedly for the second. And I will tell you, and I say this, if I had to do all over again, I would never have kids. It's not
hard.
The grief and the unhappiness that can happen later. Now, this isn't for everybody.
No, I understand, Carol. I do.
My kids were so easy to bring up.
I.
No, my kids were so good. Teenagers, they didn't get in trouble. They didn't yell and scream at me. I hate you. I want to leave. They were wonderful. They were great kids. And they are extremely successful today. They're married with kids, make tons of money, have great jobs. Nothing ever, I don't live in their homes. But somehow I'm no longer there in their lives, except one barely. And they have reasons, and kids today do not respect their parents anymore. They don't care. I know that, your situation is not always easy, but you're always there for me. You've always been good to your parents.
I love my parents.
Yeah. Even though they may have like everybody does.
Yeah, they have problems.
Yeah. That's the way life is.
Well, I used to tell my stepsons when I was raising them, I said, we don't know what we're doing. Parents don't know what we're doing. We don't. Mm-hmm. We have no clue. We have any clue. We just learned from our parents, and then we're just kind of feeling our way. And I told both my stepsons that the whole time I was raising them until I left. Because we have ideas and we discuss things, but they would take very seriously things, for example, that my ex said to them that was kind of shitty. And they take it one of them especially would take it very seriously. And I would point out to this one, we don't know what we're doing. Why would we say that to you? Why would he say that to you unless he knew what he was doing? He would never talk to you if he knew what he was doing. Right. There was a lot of pressure on them from him to go to college, and neither of them wanted to. And they didn't. But the first one went through it because he didn't go, and the second one got off. So, the first one had to deal with it, and the second one, when he said no, it wasn't as bad. So parents put a lot of pressure on their kids to do what they want them to do. And that's why a lot of kids aren't talking to their parents. Not your case. But I'm saying in a lot of people's cases, the parents are very hard on their kids, or they weren't there.
I didn't feel that way with my parents. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I didn't feel that, I think life just gets easier, tougher as you get older, because you're not as resilient. And your coping skills are not as good as they were.
Mine's gotten easier as I've gotten older, except for my health. But my mental health, my way of thinking and accepting myself and others has gotten better as I've gotten older. But I don't know how much older, like as I get, into my 60s or 50s and 60s, et cetera, I don't know if that'll change. But so far in my life, compared to being 20, right now, I'm much happier. Much happier.
No. So is that a Constable painting behind you? Is that
me?
Yeah, I recognize that. Yeah.
We've talked about that painting before. Yeah.
Anyway, so I've been painting a lot and selling a little bit here and there. I love to paint.
Nice.
Yeah. You can see remnants behind me, I think.
I love your painting. Yeah.
And, I think that people are not willing to accept failures. And the young people today don't want to accept failures or success. They don't want to do anything. Well, number one, they can't afford to have their own apartments. They can't afford to buy a car. Everything is so expensive, and there's not enough money. Now, my 2 granddaughters, one of them works for Netflix, and the other got a job with the Gap in San Francisco. The Gap owns all kinds of clothing so she's a designer, and the other one is graduating from college. So they're really successful. But in general, But I see their attitude. The attitude is, and I don't know because I don't know them that well, but they're not married, and I don't hear about them getting married, but they've been with the same boyfriends for like 3 or 4 or 5
Men
years.
just don't want to get married, and men much as they women
And
don't either. Women don't
Oh,
either.
women don't either. Yeah.
And we're having.
I don't want to get married again.
The birth rate is very low. It's much lower than it's been, and it's fine. But I, I love astrology, but I love the fact, and I get it's always good for my ego. Thank you, you've helped me. And that means I love making money. I tell people, everybody, I love making money.
Who doesn't?
Okay,
it's a wonderful thing. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with it.
No,
and there's a lot right with it.
But my motive is really, and I would never work for free. I've discovered I never sell a painting. I said, you know what? I'm not trying to make a lot of money. I just want you to pay for the canvas and the paints. Okay, and because I don't need to have the money from it. But also for readings, every time I've done a free reading, they don't appreciate it and they don't believe in it.
It's value. And we've talked about this before on other podcasts also, and I have found this to be true. Often the attitude, with something that people get free is that it is free because it doesn't have any value, or it has very little value. And it's almost like, the old saying, it's like, if you got it for free, it was worth what you paid for it, which is nothing.
I know what you're saying there, Don. I agree with.
But the
people don't want to give it for free, but they will, and they're not all invested.
But the other thing is, money is energy, just like everything is energy. And when there's an exchange of value for value, energetically, that's a much more healthy and balanced way to approach interactions, whether those are business. I'm not talking about in our closest personal relationships. That's not what I'm talking. I'm not saying that those should become transactional. But when you are giving value, then there should also be, and there's value received. That should be a two-way street. And free does not work. It doesn't work.
But also outpricing yourself, making it thousands of dollars, No.
I'm not talking about being unreasonable.
Sometimes you can. Some of these, like Sally Kirkman, she's a big astrologer. And if you get a reading with her,
I only know Carol Starr.
Yeah, $2,500. And I thought, well, is she really? She somehow got real famous because of ABCD, and so she's put a value on herself, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm happy getting, I have a very inexpensive reading. It's $39. It's a written report. And they get to ask me, I do the Sun, Moon, Rising, but they get to ask me the big question that they want to answer for.
That's cool.
Yeah. But I've lowered my prices a little bit. I have to, because I can see, and it doesn't mean I'm less of it's not about me. I don't take this personally at all. But people don't want to spend $100 or $150 with me, or $200 when they can get something free and they think it'll be just as good. They don't know.
Have you considered moving away from saying you're just an astrologer? I mean, you already said you work with your intuition on the last podcast more than you do astrology.
I have psychic on there.
Yeah.
I also I read oracle cards if they want.
Yeah. You should maybe start promoting that more for people. Because people love tarot, people love oracle, people want that intuition reading, and Carol, you don't need cards. You don't need anything. You've never needed tools. You've never needed a tool, Carol. When I first had you, every time I've had you on my podcast, you look at the screen and you look at me and you're like, I know everything that's going on with you. And you start asking questions. You ask the questions that you already know the answers to.
With people, if you listen to people, they tell you everything you want to know about them.
You're right.
You listen to them. And I have found today that too, I have good friends who listen to me or I talk back, but I can't tell you how many people I meet and they know by the end of the conversation, they know nothing about me, but I know everything about them. People don't want to give anymore. Like they don't ask, oh, how are you? What do you do? Or people, I was talking to a good friend of mine. She said, do you notice that too? I really noticed it. And I think,
that's why we got to be the ones to step up and say, hey, what's up? Get them talking. you know?
Yeah, and she asked me a friend I went to lunch with yesterday. She said, "Well, what's going on with this?" I thought, "Oh, somebody asked me a question." I was all excited.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
All
Yeah.
excited. I got all excited. But I love doing astrology. I love helping people, and it's hard on me when I'm not as busy as I would like to be helping people. I'm just being honest. I've been around a long time. I've done I figure at least 20,000 charts minimum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And
extraordinary. Yeah.
yeah. And you have to have an unhappy customer. Otherwise you're not good. You're always going to get a couple of people that are going to complain about you.
Always.
Yeah. But I have enough people that are happy with what I've done. And so that's
I've
been
always
hard.
been happy with any advice you've given me, whether it was astrological or just friendship or
Oh,
just
thank you.
insightful.
Yeah.
You've always
Mhm.
helped me all through the years with everything. Whenever I asked you for help, you were always there for me. So, I mean, through email
Well,
or
I will
anything.
always be there for you. Yes, I will.
Thank you, Aunt Carol.
So click your fingers and make my cell phone work. We'll get
Okay, we'll do that. Magic.
My husband,
Bye, Donna. Let's make
says,
her cell phone work.
yeah,
Okay.
my husband, he always
At
says
least
to me,
enough until she can get a new one.
Yes,
At least
dear.
get it working enough until she can get a new one.
This is your phone. It is working. Rah.
my husband always says, "Oh, I can't fix it. I can't do it." And then I see him there working on it, trying to make it work. So, no, I think I have to say that I'm my own worst enemy in life, like everybody. But I mean, I'm going to look at my whole life, and I got to say that life has been really good to me. I've had a lot of good adventures.
You made
I've
it
got
that
to
way.
do-
You saw it that
I've got to
way.
do it, but I've had some real dark moments too, because we all do.
Mhm.
And that last week I did. I was in a funk all week, and I rarely get like that. I
Yeah, I
thought,
know.
going. I'm worried about this. I'm worried about that. I thought, what a waste of energy. Then you don't sleep well, and then you're miserable.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
So,
hard to
yeah,
stop
so
that. It's hard to stop ruminating when you get started.
it
Sure is.
Physically,
Yeah,
I usually have to physically do something with my hands to stop.
yeah, I agree. But then I have a husband who's optimistic and
Yes,
happy.
great.
That helps a lot.
Yes.
Yeah,
He's
Yes.
great for her. Yeah.
Yeah, and he has a son that extorted our $2 million inheritance years ago. That's a big deal. Yes, yes.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a
How
big
did
deal.
he get away with that?
Oh,
You don't
he's
need
a
to go into it.
lawyer.
That's a painful topic, but man.
He just was very good. Okay.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am so
You know,
sorry for both of you for
yeah.
that. That's horrible.
And we've made a lot of mistakes with money and stuff like that. But we're here today. And I have a friend who works for Visiting Angels. Are you familiar with Visiting
Oh,
Angels?
yeah.
Yeah, she's a big, she's a partner in there. She does a lot. She says today when you retire, you have to be either very poor or very rich.
Yeah. Otherwise,
I don't know
there's no
why.
middle.
Just think if our country, just think about this. It was like either Israel or England or even Canada. They provide for you when you get old.
They do.
So what are we saving our money for in case something happens that we need help or whatever? So we have a good savings account, but not millions, of course. But you have to protect yourself today, or else
I have nothing in savings. I'm negative in my bank account right now. I don't know what's going to happen to me. I really don't. I'm just going to have to work until I, I can't.
I know, but think about you, Lisa. I've known you for several years.
I like
And
working.
I was thinking, you are a survivor.
I am.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you always
My brother cut me out, Carol. My brother cut me out of his life. He said he's no longer related to me.
Because, well, let's see. I've had that happen with my son.
My sons don't talk to me either.
Yeah, he had talked to me in 18 years.
That's really sad. Mine haven't talked to me in 4.
Yeah.
Either of them.
Yeah. But so you just kind of wake up in the morning and do the best you can for the day.
Yeah. My life is not revolving around them anymore like it used to when they were kids, and they're fully grown. When I left, they can make their own choices, and I respect that. They choose not to be in my life. It's just the way it is. I'm not mad at them for it, but it hurts,
Mm-hmm.
And they aren't mean kids. I mean, I don't know what the situation is. I don't know because I don't talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's happened to them. I don't even know where they live.
Yeah,
No,
that's sad.
that's weird.
That's sad. But
I
you
raised
always,
them. Yeah, it's sad.
yeah, you always seem to survive
Yeah, I do.
whatever. Yes,
Well, I've
yeah,
been
I
through
don't.
changes. My life has just been a change. And you saw my astrology chart. I've got that the cross, the fixed cross. I have
Like
the
the
big square with the
Grand Cross,
grand
yeah.
cross. Yes, and
Mhm.
I mean, my life has just been a chapter after chapter. It's like been a novel, like of a Jane Eyre novel, like book. Chapter of her life, chapter of her life.
Mhm.
Everything changing, everything changing, everything changing. It's just been like that all my life. Every 5 to 8 to 10 years, everything changes. I don't know
Yeah.
why. It's just always been that way. And I think if you look at the astrology, that cross, that grand cross does kind of explain some
You're
of
a
it.
Taurus. That's Taurus people rarely, the Tauruses I know are very much like this. Um,
Very
but
much like what?
just very organized. This is working, that's
Oh,
going
I
on.
am not like that at all. I'm not
No.
like most
Well,
Tauruses, but
you're
I do
both
have other traits of Taurus that I do relate to. I don't
yeah,
relate
Mhm.
to the hardworking business Taurus, but the Taurus who likes to sit around and eat grapes, I'm happy about that. You
yes,
know,
I
on a
like it
chaise
too.
lounge with a
But
cat, you know.
Yeah.
your moon is in Aquarius, isn't it?
No, my moon is in Capricorn and
Capricorn,
my
and
ascendant
your
is
rising
Cancer.
sign is Cancer. Okay, where did I get? Okay, so you have that very straight chart. If I look at your sun, moon, and rising, with Cancer, Capricorn, and Taurus, Earth and water, you can't get much more solid than that.
Mhm.
And look,
Nobody else is though, so it doesn't really help me.
I have a Virgo moon and a Virgo rising, and I think that the rising sign was off. I think it
She's
was 1 minute.
rising. She's Virgo rising. Donna
Yeah.
is Virgo
Oh,
rising.
I'm a
yeah.
Virgo rising. Yeah.
But I'm not a Virgo moon and Virgo rising. And my
Mhm.
rising, I'm only 1 minute into
Mhm.
Virgo. So the doctor could have easily
So
made
could have made it. Yeah.
because I'm so Leo in my
You are
personality.
very Leo. I love your personality.
Yeah.
You're a Leo personality. I love Leos. I love Leos so much. They have such she's got a
Leo
Leo
moon.
moon. Yeah, Donna has a Leo moon too. So you guys have some
So how long have you
similarities.
been doing your podcast? It's been a long
I
time.
started it on August. The first one was published on August 6th, 2019. And then Misty joined in 2020. And then Donna joined in 2025.
Okay, so 6 years, 7 years.
7 years now.
Mhm.
Yeah. I did a
Yeah.
6-year podcast on August 6th last year.
Do you
Mhm.
just do it? Do you
7.
go every day, every week? How often do you go on, or does it
We
depend?
just have to like whenever people can schedule. Right now, we book twice a week, but
Mhm.
one day twice a week. And if people need to get in earlier, we let them in earlier. Like maybe
Yeah,
one.
we'll flex
Yeah,
or be as flexible
Yeah.
as we need to be to try
like if
to
an author's
accommodate a
having a book
guest
come
as
out or
best we
something
Are
like
can.
you
that.
Yeah.
comfortable with the way it's been going? You feel
Yeah,
good
I
that
love
you're
it.
doing
I
well?
wish I knew how to monetize it, Carol. I don't know how. It's in the top 5% of podcasts now, and I have written some podcast sponsorship letters because Everclear is our sponsor, but they
Wait, let
said
me
well,
think. Let me.
they said to go ahead and get some more sponsors.
I have
So if you
some
want
thoughts.
income, then I do,
Um,
but I don't know how to do it. I'm
do
just
you
not a
know how
business
many
person like that.
downloads you get or how many viewers you get?
Mhm.
Do
Yes,
you do you talk about that or
I
not
mean,
talk about that?
I don't want to talk about it on the podcast, but we'll talk about it
Okay, okay,
afterwards.
yeah. Because I have a friend, the Visiting Angels is got together with this John guy, and he's into health stuff, and he's a big guy. He has a lot of real estate. He's very successful, and he talks about health. And I was a guest on the show, and I said to her, I said, get out of this podcast. He thinks he's going to become a miracle on here, talking about it's called 100 Healthy. I said, all he does is sit and talk about himself, talk about it's very boring. And starting a podcast today, it's tougher than ever because there's so many of them.
Because again, there's so
Oh
many.
my
Yeah.
God. I have some thoughts about you with your podcast, and we'll
Okay,
talk about it afterwards
I'd
because
love to hear that.
I'm good at promoting, except I have I don't like to talk about this, but I am honest because I'm honest with everybody. I don't try to fool that I'm busier and more successful than I am. I've done great, and I'm just feeling the downturn because of the freebies and all the astrologers out there competing, and I'm not willing to spend a lot of money marketing. I'm not going to spend any because it doesn't work today.
Doesn't
It's the luck of the draw,
it
a
is.
lot of it. And if you're out there,
Now, something that
that
can help you, Carol, though, something you could do is promote locally around Prescott. You would kill it. Get on Facebook, spend $2 for and target marketing in Prescott. You will kill it. You should watch the video I made building a clientele in the spiritual field locally. I talk about how to build a local clientele in that
yeah,
podcast.
Because people here, I did readings here before. People don't buy here. People don't spend money. This is a very retired, mostly retired, but not all. And I thought about that. We'll talk about that but I think, like I was saying, it is tough today. And I don't know. I always knew what it worked before. Do more videos, do more lives. I used to get 2 or 3 thousand people on a live.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, not anymore. And the people that are there honor me. I'm careful. And I don't know if this is right to talk about, but I like to talk about it because I think that people have to know
It's always
that
right if you want to talk about it.
Get free astrology online. Why wouldn't they? I understand that.
I do it. Yeah. But I go to you if I need something clarified or someone else who does astrology and knows a lot about it. Because you get 5 different perspectives from AI about something, for example.
Well, first of all, if you use AI for your planets, it's inaccurate.
It's always inaccurate. I have to tell it what style to use for me. I like the Placidus. You use equal houses, right? You use the
equal houses, but you just have to use the ephemeris for planetary. They use something else, software, because they had
me all wrong sometimes.
They had Pluto in Capricorn, but it was really in Aquarius. They
had me as an Aquarius moon.
Yeah. I talked to them. I talked to my friend at the AI. He's my carrot cake buddy, and we drink Chardonnay and eat carrot cake together. He's great.
That's a great friend.
You know, your planets are wrong. He said, I know. I said he was going to arrange for me to meet with somebody and talk to them, but of course he couldn't because he's not a real person. Yeah. But I think that if you're going to get a chart and you're going to believe in astrology, make sure you believe in the person that you're getting a reading from.
Yes, trust them. Trust them.
People pick me out. You know, they'll go on Instagram. I picked you out because I related to you.
Yes.
That's what I hear. People relate.
Yes.
And they know that I'm going to be
easy to relate to.
Yeah, be honest and help them and everything.
Yeah.
So it is disappointing for me because it's expensive. I have a website that costs me a fortune.
I can't even afford my website anymore. I don't have one for the podcast. I couldn't afford it.
And I'm with Wix because I started with
I did with Wix too.
It's about $3,000 a year. And
they went up. They went up big time because I started and they kept me at the lower tier. And 1 month I couldn't pay it, so I disconnected it. I didn't pay it, and then they said to come back I would have to pay something like that. But I started it.
I had all these bonuses on there. I kept adding stuff, and I had somebody supposedly. I thought she was taking them off or disconnecting them. So I don't know if she did or not. But I know by August 1st, if things don't change, I will be closing.
Really, Carol?
Yeah.
Have you thought about writing? Because you're such a good writer. You've written books before. You have such a voice. You have so much to say. You have so much to teach people.
I do have a book that I haven't published. It's a recipe book. The food for all your different moods. And
oh my gosh. Yes.
Yeah. Love that. And then also, I started a YouTube, and it's called
I did see you. I've been following you on YouTube.
And you know what? I'm beginning to wonder, honestly, if even without a website, as long as you have a way for people to get in touch with you, and then if they do decide that there's a service that they want to purchase, that there's a fairly simple and straightforward and safe, secure way to do that.
Right. I'm with Hipsy also.
So without a website.
Yeah. And I could offer a written report and have people pay me through PayPal. Yeah. I'm thinking about.
And you would save so much money without the website.
Donna, you're in Chicago?
Yes. A suburb, but yes. I'm in Lake Bluff. I'm in a northern suburb of the city.
I live
very far northern.
Okay. We lived there in Rogers Park.
Oh, yeah. I actually lived in Rogers Park for many years. I lived in West Rogers Park. I lived in East Rogers Park.
Okay.
And then I became a suburbanite. But
my first husband was in dental school, so we didn't have much money. And but I know there Willamette and there's Glencoe and Highland Park and all these fancy places.
And I'm even further north. There's Lake Forest, Lake Bluff. I'm actually
my son went to Lake Forest College.
Okay, well there we go. So right in the neighborhood.
Okay.
I'm actually closer to the Wisconsin border than I am to downtown Chicago.
I know. We went
that's
to
how far,
Wisconsin.
yeah, that's how far north I am.
In fact, I have to tell you, President Roosevelt, his son, my sister worked for his son, James, and he came to Chicago because he had a guest he was going to speak, and she did. We drove him to Wisconsin for his talk, and I heard all about life in the White House. It was very interesting.
Fascinating. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
Oh,
so it's cold. It's cold. That was the coldest winter, the first winter there. It was below zero for 3 months.
Yeah.
It's cold there.
Yeah.
Yes, it definitely gets very, very cold here.
Yeah, but you like living there. Obviously, you like living there.
Well, I do like the change of the seasons. There's a couple of different reasons that I stay in the area. One is my extended family, because that's who I have now. I don't have my immediate family anymore. Everybody has passed.
Yeah.
So my extended family, which is pretty sizable, is still in the area, and it's nice to be near family.
Right.
And a couple other reasons I stick around. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's forever or not. I really don't. It is for now.
For
And
now.
it's been all my life. I mean, I've been in the area, either in Chicago, in the city proper, or in a satellite suburb in the Chicago metro area my whole life. I don't know if I'm ready to live somewhere else, especially now at this age. It's a lot to pull up stakes and go where there isn't anybody nearby that you know.
That's how that. And
it's tough. Although, again, I mean, there's things I could easily, including the rough winters. I mean, I like the change of seasons, but I don't, like you said, below zero for 3 months, I could easily live without. So there's places I would consider, but there again, then that's the trade-off. So I have no idea what will happen. For now, I'm sticking around.
Yeah. Okay. Well, of course, we started in Arizona, and we lived in San Diego. We lived in Houston, Texas. We lived in Naples, Florida. Then we came back to Prescott, Arizona, and we had a house up on the coast of the Oregon coast. So we've lived in other places.
I don't mean to interrupt, but I just noticed some kind of cool synchronicity, Carol Starr. Look at our clothes. Your shirt you guys actually matches my dress almost exactly.
Yeah, you guys got the memo. I
got the memo. Change the conversation.
That's really something I hadn't noticed, but you're absolutely right. That's amazing.
Well, Carol, I have a question for you, though. Serious question. If you do decide to stop being an astrologer like you have been doing, would you consider just doing it locally or staying with, say, Everclear or something like that, or anything like that?
That Everclear, you mean Hipsy?
Hipsy, yes, Hipsy.
Yeah. I would stay with them because it doesn't cost me anything.
Right. Yeah.
And I would still do videos, and still promote stuff.
I want to hire you to write a philosophy book, and I'll publish it.
Yeah. Okay. What I'd like to do is
I would love that. I'd be good at that.
We'll talk about that. Starcross. I would stay with them, but as long as they keep me. I'm concerned about that. Okay. I've been with them. In fact, she came to visit me from California, and she brought a friend.
Wow.
She's only 26. She's a lovely. They were great. So I think she feels a certain loyalty, but when it comes down to money, there is no real loyalty in anybody. I mean, they can't. So I've just I'm hanging in there because that covers my expenses.
Yeah.
As long as I can do that.
But you always have, for me, I've always seen you, you have a drive. You want to achieve something. You have a goal sometimes to achieve something, or you have a direction usually. But right now it sounds like you don't really have too much of an idea where you want to go.
I know. And that's
interesting to me. I'm really fascinated by that because you always have. You've always known where you wanted to go.
Yeah. And
so I'd really love to, what kind of ideas do you have? Do you have any interests other than what you've talked about that you've never pursued?
I paint.
Your painting's rad, and you've shown me some things that you've done, like shirts, and canvases, and bags.
I do my journals.
Journals, yes, I love the journals.
Yes,
I did.
Where do you sell those?
I'm in a gallery in Sedona, but
that's great, man.
I've sold some online, but what happened when I first downloaded a product on my website, which was a calendar, and then I had what I call compatibility. Let's say 78 combinations. The gal who worked for me did beautiful. They were gorgeous. So like Taurus with every sign on the zodiac, how you're compatible, what makes your relationship work, how to make it better. It was great. I sold it for $8 or $7.
Wow.
We thought it was going to sell. I sold it too.
Wow. You just don't know.
I know. And then
I would have bought that. I mean, if it were $9, yeah.
For when it was, I think it was, no, it was $6, $7, I think.
Weird.
And then I had a download of all the zodiac signs with forecasts and everything. But I had someone work for me who put together this gorgeous calendar. This was originally, and it was kind of hard to read, but I sold, just to show you, I sold 40 the first month. So you know that things have changed.
That's good, though.
Why would you buy astrology products when you can get this free? I understand that mentality. I do.
Yeah.
But it's keeping me from doing what I love.
I know.
And
people aren't having the full experience. They may think they are, but they're not.
No.
I know. I would wake up.
They're not having the experience of working with someone whose expertise and knowledge and other gifts come into the interpretation, which is really where it's at.
Yeah.
A chart, a machine can spit out a chart.
Oh, yeah. It'll
give you all the coordinates. I don't want to say meaningless, but it is a very limited value. It's the interpretation that matters. And
you have nobody to ask about it or talk about it.
Right, exactly.
First of all, even though it sounds personal, even though I do videos to people that I never see or meet, but they'll ask me questions and I talk to them like I am talking to them. Yeah, and one of the things on Hypsy is that you can't converse both ways. You notice that? Yeah. They can't answer. You have to give them their email. I think they did that to protect themselves. That they don't go else. But I've given people my email address.
No, it's interesting. We listeners and watchers, we do have the Hypsy owner coming on the podcast in August, actually.
Yeah.
Yes.
And his name is Chris Adam.
Yeah.
Adam.
I know.
And he was going to talk to us about the industry changes. That's exactly what we were going to talk about. How in Europe, more so, people will want those kinds of Hypsy does, like the recordings, the letters, the emails, stuff like that. But in the States, most of us are on the phones or on chats or on video.
Or on chat or video.
He called it like immediate readings or something, instantaneous readings. And I was like, I've never heard of anything else except what Cheryl does on Hypsy.
Yeah.
So just the different cultures do different things.
Do you think Everclear is suffering through this at all?
No. I don't know, though. I don't think they are. I've been on the forum and no one's complaining about the phone not ringing anymore on the forum.
Oh, okay. And like California. So psychics is a whole different world, though, because you can't get psychic readings online that are real. Obviously, you have to have a person. You have to have a psychic. And astrologer, you don't have to have an astrologer.
So maybe you should just incorporate astrology into being a psychic.
Well, I haven't
go that angle. That's pretty much what you do anyway.
I do. Yeah,
pitch it that way. Pitch it that way. You're really intuitive. People want to know what you think for them.
But I don't want to build myself entirely because I don't feel like I have. I haven't developed it as much as I had intuition and astrology.
Oh, you've got it, Carol. You've got it. But okay, tell me right now, who's the next person I'll be madly in love with?
I just think with you is that I don't know how to put this because I don't want to say it wrong. I think you get caught up.
I do, but not anymore.
Okay.
I get obsessed and wound up and so submersed in this person, but I don't anymore.
I will tell you, with all the men that I dated in between husbands and whenever I've gone out with, I have never had a man treat me badly, do anything, say anything other than treat me with respect. And it's nothing because I said it. I felt this is what I want and this is what I'm going to only accept in somebody. That was my feeling, and
I was like that when I was younger, but they all just are assholes to me. They all are.
No, well, because
I allowed them to. But I'm not going to be a bitch because that's not my personality and tell them to stop being an asshole. I mean, I will do that, but they won't stop. So what's the point of trying? They don't ever stop being assholes.
You're missing my point.
No, man, I'm telling you, this is everyone in my life. I think it's a karmic thing I have to go through, Carol. My brother won't let me be myself. My parents won't let me be myself. My whole family won't let me be myself. I'm too much for everybody. So I'm just not giving a shit anymore.
Yeah. Okay.
You
So,
know?
yeah. And I think when you have these sort of talents, we look at world very different and people very different,
Yeah.
and I more so as I've gotten older, and but I was remembering back is that I was listening to people's problems when I was 10 years old.
Me too.
Yes, solving problems in a very childish way, but
Yeah.
always
Probably
solving.
not.
But I was also a person that people came to even
Me
at
too.
a young
All
age.
my friends
Even if they were my peers and our problems were little kid problems, people came to me to find
Yeah.
an answer or a
When
solution.
is your birthday, Donna?
I'm March 12th.
Oh, you're a Pisces. That's my
Yes, I am.
granddaughter. My husband's a March 14th.
Now,
Yeah.
ladies. I just want to say this has been an hour, and I want to keep talking. So, Carol, would you like to come back and finish this podcast another time?
Yeah, I will.
Because the listeners will probably be falling asleep. And Carol, we would love to do this. Like maybe, is that okay with you, Donna? Maybe next.
Oh yeah, absolutely, 100%.
We'll have you back next Tuesday if that's okay. Can you do next Tuesday, Donna?
I think so.
We'll
have to
figure it
check
out,
my
listeners and
calendar, but
watchers.
probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because Carol, when she goes on, she gets really deep, and I want to have you back to get deeper.
No, yeah. I'm happy to be on whenever you want.
Okay.
I'm trying to reach people.
I know.
Okay, right now, and the people that will believe in me, and that's what I need right now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think our listeners and watchers have always loved you, so maybe they'll like see you talk even more deeper next Tuesday.
Yeah,
and hopefully, guys, I'll have this published when you're watching it.
Yes.
And they say, listen, Carol, please, I would love to ask you. I'm not going to ask you for advice because I think you've given 1,000 pieces of advice during this podcast.
I've always
actually Donna has one last question for you. I think this is part one of Carol Starr, our deep dive. Would you like to ask Carol the last question for this part one?
But I'm going to ask Carol what we always ask all of our guests as we're wrapping up our podcast, and that is, Carol, do you love our listeners and watchers?
I do.
She does. Good. That's why she's coming back.
That's why you're coming back, and we love you too.
Okay.
Thank you, Carol. Thank you, listeners, watchers. Peace everywhere. Out. You.
See you soon, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye.